WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this Thursday, July 3rd. It's 5:31 this morning and time to check on in with meteorologist Eric Dean today for a look at that forecast. Eric, it's been cooler in the mornings, hotter in the evenings. That's just summer, I guess.
Yeah, that's just a normal summer day, Amelia. Yeah, temperatures right now are in the upper 50s and low 60s. Our dew points kind of in the same ballpark. That's why some places are seeing some patchy fog as of right now. We're seeing temperatures in the 60s from top to bottom, left to right. Again, making for a nice start to your Thursday. Look at the 24-hour temperature change, though. Somerset is 7 degrees cooler than this time yesterday, 5 degrees cooler in Irvin as well as Hazard, 4 degrees cooler in Clintwood as well as Jonesville. Now, all is quiet on live pinpoint Doppler radar, but you can see right there the visibility, how it's very reduced throughout the area. So if you are traveling this morning, make sure you use extra caution to get from point A to point B, especially in the low-lying areas. We'll make a run for 86 for today. We'll stay mostly sunny, but rain and storm chances are somewhere in the forecast. Details on that coming up in the first alert forecast in a few minutes, but right now it is 5:32. We'll send it back to Amelia.
West Virginia State Police are investigating after a body was found in Wayne County. Troopers say they received that call a little after noon yesterday. They say they found a man's body in some water near Route 37. The body has not been identified and will be sent to the examiner's office for an autopsy. 2 people are dead after a crash in Tennessee. Police say someone crashed their car into a nursing home bus in Morgan County yesterday morning. It happened on Knoxville Highway between Oliver Springs and Coalfield. The district attorney says the area where this happened is a very narrow road, and people were calling in saying the driver of the car was crossing into the median.
There were other drivers that had called in saying this person was about to run other people off the road crossing the center line, and so that information had reached dispatch, but it was not in time for law enforcement to get there in time to stop this individual driver.
He says they will do an autopsy on the at-fault driver to see if they had any alcohol or drugs in their system. A Pike County man was indicted following another man's overdose death. Jimmy Gage Adkins was indicted for second-degree manslaughter. It says Adkins caused the death of Christopher Chivers by knowingly distributing fentanyl or a derivative of the drug to another person without the act of pay or services. The indictment says the incident happened back in March. A Clay County man faces a host of charges after he was arrested by police in Wayne County. The incident happened when police tried to pull over Kevin Adams of Manchester Tuesday. They say he nearly hit a vehicle at one point during the police chase. After he was arrested, Adams told police he had taken a truck that had belonged to his girlfriend and that she had no knowledge about it. He was taken to the Wayne County Detention Center. A Jackson County woman is facing charges after police say she tried to resist being arrested. It happened last month. When police arrived on scene, they say Jessica Strong was twitchy in her movements and told them that she'd been smoking crack cocaine. Police say they tased Strong on a couple of occasions before she was arrested. She was charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest, among others. She's scheduled for arraignment Monday. A man faces charges after police say he punched someone in the face. Deputies with the Wayne County, Kentucky Sheriff's Office say it happened at a convenience store Tuesday. When the victim had gone into the store, he told Stephen Smith not to be on his property and to stop harassing him. Police say Smith then punched the victim in the jaw, knocking him to the ground. Smith was taken to the Wayne County Detention Center. Some folks are concerned that the big, beautiful bill could negatively impact mental health care for millions. With the potential changes, it's important to stay up to date. But it's also important to focus on your mental health as this all plays out in Washington. WYMT's Neely Green spoke to a UPike professor about these impacts.
With the latest details regarding the big, beautiful bill, some people worry about how they will be affected.
And the big, beautiful bill has a lot of aspects that are going to affect the way higher education works, the way welfare works, the way healthcare works in this country.
University of Pikeville Assistant Professor Jeffrey Tyler Six says it's good to stay up to date, but it's important to be mindful and process information.
It's really important to stay up to date with current events. We live in a democracy, which means we're the people who govern, which is really cool, but also an awesome responsibility. We have to pick our representatives and we have to reward or punish them for enacting policies we like or dislike. And so we have this responsibility to keep up with the news.
Behavioral health nurse practitioners at primary care centers of Eastern Kentucky say it's normal to be concerned about the political climate, but help is just a step away.
There's a lot of mental health that's not treated. So if you feel like you're having any symptoms, not feeling your normal self, I mean, it's good to come in and just talk to one of us. Doesn't mean we got to do medication. We can just talk about it and see what's going on.
Nurse practitioner Sherry Kelly says if you find yourself worrying, it might be good to take a break from scrolling.
If it's causing you a lot of anxiety, definitely need a social media break.
Kelly says if you do want to reach out for help, they offer psychiatric services at 6 of their locations. In Hazard, Neely Green, WYMT Mountain News.
Six says a good way to combat your worries is to follow reliable, unbiased sources or just take a break from social media. Well, the Kentucky Hospital Association, along with 35 hospitals throughout Kentucky, sent a letter to U.S. representatives in hopes they'll reject the Senate's version of the Big Beautiful Bill. The letter was signed and sent on Monday, focusing on what Kentucky healthcare officials say would be devastating if the Senate's version of the Big Beautiful Bill is made law. They say it will negatively affect Kentucky hospitals and the patients they serve.
Unfortunately, the Senate didn't go along with those changes, and the Senate bill will do substantial damage to our hospitals, but not just to our hospitals, but to the patients of Kentucky, and not just Medicaid patients, because hospitals serve all patients. And so when hospital services are cut and when staff is laid off, that eliminates access to care for everyone in the community.
The Cecil Sheps Center for Health Services Research put out a list of hospitals at risk of closing if Congress cuts Medicaid. And Kentucky has 35 on that list, the highest number of any state. In a release from the governor's office, 4 Kentucky counties were recognized for being in the America's Best Counties rankings. Muhlenberg County came in 3rd place, while Scott County was 6th. Shelby County was listed as 8th best, and Mason County came in at 15th. Kentucky had more counties represented in the top 20 per capita category than any other state. Governor Andy Beshear has appointed a new communications director. According to the Lexington Herald leader, Scotty Ellis was picked to be the new director. He's replacing Crystal Staley, who's stepping down from the position after being in it for more than 5 years. In a statement, the governor says he was grateful for Crystal's service and is wishing her the best in her next chapter. Well, some good news for those who may have family attending the University of Tennessee. Students will not have to pay more for tuition in the fall. The board voted to approve a zero tuition increase for undergrad students. It's part of UT's $2.3 million budget for the 2026 fiscal year. While tuition won't go up, the board did approve increases for housing and dining fees and their total access material course. They say this will help with increasing costs. AAA estimates 72 million people will travel during the 4th of July holiday nationwide. In Kentucky, that's 820,000 people from June 28th through July 6th. Lori Weaver-Hawkins with AAA says 90% of people traveling in the Commonwealth will be in their cars, creating busy highways with many folks on the roads.
Try to get on the road as early as you can in the morning, because once you get to be about the midday, and into the afternoon and early evening, traffic is really going to pick up and it's going to be even more congested.
She says to make sure your vehicle has been checked out before hitting the road so you can enjoy your Independence Day fun without worrying about getting stranded on the side of the road. The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources are increasing patrols on waterways throughout the 4th of July holiday. It's part of their Operation Dry Water initiative, where game wardens say they'll have more awareness and enforcement to educate the public on why it's dangerous to boat under the influence. Captain Jason Sloan says the increases in patrols make it safer for folks while they enjoy their holiday weekend.
the weekend of July 4th, 5th, and 6th. Across the nation, all law enforcement agencies that are required to work boating enforcement have enhanced enforcement, and we look for serious violations such as boating under the influence and safety violations.
Last year, law enforcement made 584 boating under the influence arrests, plus more than 40,000 citations for safety violations throughout the country. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says an estimated 14,000 people were injured in firework-related activity last year. Here in the Bluegrass, leaders with UK healthcare say the number of people coming through the hospital doors for firework treatment is increasing. Casey Prather is the Woodford County Public Health Director. She says many firework injuries can be prevented just by reading the instructions.
These fireworks, even just sparklers, can burn at 2,000 degrees. And so I know that's something that we typically give to our kiddos to handle.
Officials say if you have a firework that's a dud, don't try to relight that firework. She says there's a reason it did not go off when it was lit the first time. Well, fireworks can be fascinating for us as people. Those loud noises can often be stressful for your pet. Members with a Kentucky veterinary clinic talked about that yesterday. They say holding your pet when fireworks go off can be good for mitigating stress. It's also important to keep those pets inside or at least leashed when fireworks go off.
If you are walking more in the evening, that's had a lot of time for, especially on a sunny day like today, for the pavement to kind of get hot. So just being mindful that pets' paws can definitely get too hot on the pavement. Walking them in grassier areas or shady areas would be preferred.
Veterinarian Carrie Wynn says clinics can also prescribe medications for pets that are especially stressed out. It's 5:43.